Welcome to another Erik Wait whiskey study, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Joseph Magnus straight bourbon whiskey finished in sherry and cognac cask. This is an absolutely spectacular whiskey, and while I want you to watch the rest of this review, if you can, open up your browser right now, open up another window, and if you can, see if there is one available in your neighborhood, or if you can order one online, because this is a bourbon you're gonna want to have. It is absolutely spectacular. I did a review of this with Chad from It's Bourbon Night, and I put a link at the end of this video to that live stream. We had a fantastic time getting to know each other and talking about bourbons and reviewing this whiskey from a neck pour. Usually, I like to get a whiskey beyond the shoulder before I do a formal review, but this one right off the bat, right from the neck, is absolutely spectacular. But before we do a formal review, here are my notes. Joseph A. Magnus and Company Distillery was re-established in the year 2015, but the legacy of Joseph Magnus bourbon dates back to the 1890s. After Magnus's great-grandson rediscovered an old bottle of his ancestors' whiskey amongst family heirlooms, the idea was hatched to revive the art of finished bourbon. Joseph Magnus bourbon is comprised of 12-year-old bourbon from MGP in Indiana and triple cask finished over several months in Oloroso sherry, Pedro Jimenez sherry, and cognac casks at Joseph A. Magnus and Company Distillery in Washington, D.C. The bottle in review is cask number 63, bottle 177 of 892. It is bottled at 100 proof or 50% alcohol by volume. The manufacturer suggested retail price is $100 US. I paid $80 plus tax. Alrighty, let's get into it. So, it is really dark. Dark amber with a slight tinge of red. Looks a little bit like the Booker's Kitchen Table 2018 04 that I reviewed earlier this month. So this is my last, second to the last formal review for Bourbon Month. I have one more to go, and then I'm going to do a top 5 for Bourbon Month video. So we're coming just to the end. This, I could spend hours and hours and hours analyzing this bourbon. There's so many layers of complexity to this whiskey. It's got savory notes like a barbecue rub, a tri-tip that has brown sugar and kosher salt and herbs and spices and all that. It has a definite coffee note. Maybe an iced coffee with a little bit of sweetener added to it. It has some dried black fruit notes, fig, dates, raisins. There's also a definite chocolate character to it, but it's a chocolate that is sort of surrounding black cherries. And then sort of way in the back is grilled corn. So you could have canned corn, you could have sweet corn, you could have caramelized corn, or if you ever do corn for a barbecue and you actually put it on the grill, I'm getting that. In the background, there's also some vanilla and other baking spices. Cinnamon. All right, on the palate. This is unbelievably delicious. It's somewhat sweet. It's not super sweet, but it's definitely not dry. And on the palate, the nose is confirmed. Get those iced coffee notes with a little bit of sweetener in it. I get the barbecue savory notes. I get some black caramels, chocolate covered cherries, the grilled corn, and a little bit of saltiness, like a salted dark chocolate. Absolutely delicious. What would I give this for as a score? I'm gonna go 95 points. This is absolutely fantastic. However, as a bourbon, this is not a classic bourbon profile. This is a bourbon that has been really influenced by its secondary aging. Okay, so finished bourbons, I believe, need to be sort of put into a completely different category in terms of judging. So judging this bourbon against a more classic, traditional bourbon, I think you're talking apples and oranges. You know, you're talking cats and dogs. It just really can't be compared. They need to be put into a different subcategory of whiskeys. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to highly recommend it. This potential, you know, make my top 10 for 2019. I absolutely love this. Some of the notes on this remind me of the Bunnahabhain Moin Oloroso Fishil edition that I did. That made my #1 for 2018. Some of it reminds me of the Laphroaig Cask Strength 10 Batch 010 that I did during Isla Month. It has the salty, savory notes that you would find in those two whiskeys, but without the smoke. Absolutely fantastic. If you can get a bottle of this, jump on it. Don't hesitate. Highly recommend it. Absolutely love this. All right, that's it for this review. If you subscribe to this channel, I want to thank you very much. If you haven't yet subscribed, but you like watching my videos, I would greatly appreciate if you would subscribe and share this video with your fellow whiskey lovers on Facebook, Twitter, and other social networking channels. And until next time, cheers. Hey, if you like my review, be sure to check out these other whiskey videos.